Okay, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be creating a basic HTML structure for this particular PSD or Photoshop design you could see here. And this design, we're going to be creating the foundation structure that we hold everything about this particular web template we did in Photoshop. And we're going to be using InType, and what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paste in the default markup structure for the HTML document. Let me zoom in here. Okay, and you can see we have our doc type, XML transition. I think that's the most used by most web designers because it's actually forgiving when it comes to some errors. And first we want to change the title. I'm gonna call this let's call it HTML markup structure for Photoshop mock up. Yep, and we'll save. I'll save this file into locations for this tutorial, and I'll go to my desktop, go down to, and I'll come in and I'll save. So when you truly design, you can actually get the final file. I'll call this markup. Okay, one of the things I want to achieve here is to be able to look at the design and break this down into an HTML code that can actually work for a site. And the first thing we first of all do is this. We're going to break this down into different sections of HTML elements we use for web design. So I'm going to open up another file, which I've already saved on my desktop in the folder. So when I give it to you guys, you'll be able to get exactly what I did, how I did it in the Photoshop. So I'll go to File, open up this image, and voila. Here we go. Zoom out a little bit. Let me start my keyboard. Okay, zoom. I think 100%. It's just, yeah, it's okay. Okay, basically, if you look at the structure of the HTML document, you can actually find out that from the design, it was actually laid over designs. I'm going to explain some few things here. For the header, we use the div. Maybe probably we'll give this div, this particular section here, we'll call it the header, and we'll give the div maybe an ID of header to actually style that particular section of the site. But the thing here is that we use this div to create a partition or a section or a division, a block level division, because a div is actually a block level element, a block level division to create an header, and within it we have our paragraph. We use a p tag, and I think I failed to mention something there. It's also supposed to have an anchor tag, which is the a tag, and subscribe to our RSS feed. You know, when the user comes to your site, you have to click on your RSS feed to actually view the site in a more concise manner and get information directly. Okay, we have our slogan that goes with the logo, and our logo, most of the time some people end up putting images for their logo, but then using CSS they may hide the actual textual content of the logo. But the essence of that in web design is to make it SEO friendly. So when the search engine comes, because search engine, they can't read images, so they have to read logos, they have to read types. So most companies tend to put their logos in H1, and H1, like I said, also helps in creating hierarchy in your page. And for the navigation, we use the list element, with actually list items. Then you have your anchor tag for your links. So if you click on about us, it takes you on that page, but this is actually done with a list element. Then we go down again, there's another division, and probably you may call that intro or welcome. Give it an idea of intro or welcome. And you have this ID as a div, signifying this boundary here, and inside that div we also have a nested div. Like I said before, a div can contain virtually almost every other HTML element including itself, except the body and the header elements. And here we have our image here and a link. And the idea was that if you, even though it's a slideshow and maybe you have some important information displaying on this particular area of the screen, if you click on that particular information, it takes you to a specific page on the site. And we have our buttons to move the image left, right, and we're actually using a link tag for that. And this will be controlled by jQuery, JavaScript, or some sort of scripting language. But mostly, almost every client-side scripting language is built on Java. jQuery is built on Java. Prototype is built on Java. And we have our H2. And instead of us giving this one H1 and H2, we are creating hierarchy. We're telling the browser, the search, the SEO, or the search engine that our company name is more important than the intro to our site. No one wants to know the intro to your site if they don't know what company they're actually dealing with. And if we go further down, we get to see that we actually broke this up into a div, and we have the latest blog posts, you have your H2, you have your news and events, then you have your H2 again. The essence of this is this: our latest blog post and our welcome to our site are of the same level of importance. That's why I gave both of them the H2 tag. I don't think welcome to our site is far more important than our latest blog post or our news and event, depending on what the site is engaged in at that particular point in time. And I actually broke this up into, okay, this main div. Okay, this div actually, I drew it this way so you could see it, but it spans from the bottom of the first div, that's where the point that I'm actually mousing over right now. It spans from there downwards before the footer. You can see for this site we didn't create the footer because I just want to use this to create a simple HTML markup tutorial. And for here we use the p tag inside the div. And on the other section, we actually did something quite funny. I came here and inside the div I used a list item as opposed to what you guys actually thought I would use. Some people thought I was going to use a paragraph, and it's like this news and event. And the reason I use a list item is this: if you get the news and event from the database, and it's actually like each news, it's like a category of the main idea in news. You understand? It's a group, and you have list of news. The first, usually the most or the highest news or the most important news at the top. The most important news is always placed at the top. The second is placed at the bottom. The most current, like that. And it's actually like a list of news and events that has gone on with the company. And this is just a basic idea when it comes to being able to see your code from a design. And that's the reason I'm doing this. I think I'll ease out now.